Today, I'm going to show you how to create this potion ingredient jar of moss, more specifically reindeer moss, for luck, money, and protection. The things we'll need to create our moss potion ingredient jar is one jar, and I am using one of the bottles that has the ground glass stopper in it. I just thought it'd be a fun design for this one. I picked up this bag of reindeer moss in the 3 different shades of green from Michaels. I have some brown cording and some brown leather cording. You'll see why I have 2 different cordings later. We are going to use 2 different sealing wax hot glue sticks. I have a pearlized green and I have a champagne color, as well as scissors. And finally, we will need our label printed on sticker paper, and the link for this is in the description down below. Let's get started. Would you like a chance to win a monthly potion bottle? Then consider supporting me over on Patreon. All of my patrons have a chance to win a monthly potion bottle. Patreon not your thing? No worries. You can become a member here on YouTube and get exclusive icons and emojis to use in the comments section. Link is in the description down below. So for this potion ingredient jar, the first thing we're going to do is open this up. And I just loved the different shades of this reindeer moss. Now, reindeer moss is one of my favorite mosses to use. It's not actually a moss. I think it's in the lichen family, but regardless, I love the texture and the shape of it. And reindeer moss is actually used in a lot of different spells for luck, money, and protection. So I felt like this would be a fun one to do. And I thought the green would be a nice addition. Kind of gives a little bit of a St. Patrick's Day vibe. And I feel like with the luck, money, and protection, kind of all goes hand in hand with that. So we're going to pull this out. And I actually do like the darker at the bottom. So I think we're going to take some of that and put it here in the bottom. And then I'm going to use one of my little stir spatula tools that I use for my mica powder to just kind of spread it out and get it fluffed the way we'd like. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So now we're going to add some of this brighter green. And then we're going to add the lighter green. And I want it to feel very organic and, you know, have the really great textural quality that reindeer moss has. So I think that's a nice look. Again, super simple, very easy. Just wanted to kind of give this a nice textural ingredient look like you would buy on an apothecary shelf. So with these ground glass stopper bottles, you are going to put it onto the top and you want to kind of get it as level as you can. And then you twist. And when you twist, the 2 ground edges, so the lid and the base of the bottle, will actually like lock into place. See how wide the top is compared to the neck? That's why I have 2 different cordings. So we're going to do a base layer of the standard brown jute, and then we're going to do another layer of the fancier leather cording because I want this to be a little bit more in line. And I may even do 2 layers of the standard jute. We'll just kind of see where the thickness is. So we're going to wrap this just like we have hundreds of other bottles before. And if you'd like to see exactly how I do that, I will link my tips and tricks video up above, which I explain in great detail how to do the wrappings, why I do the wrappings the way I do, all that. All right, so I actually went up, down, and up again. So this is kind of like 3 wrappings. And we're going to pull that behind. Again, I'm just trying to build up the neck a little bit so that when I go to put my leather cording on, it won't be in so far. Right now that I have my base layer of the brown jute cording, which just kind of built this up a little bit, I can now use my leather cording on top. And I was very strategic about making sure that the under layer is the same color as the top layer. So if any of it shows through, it's not going to matter because it's the same color. Now I do have to be a little bit more careful about how I'm wrapping to make sure it's falling in line where I want it to, only because it does have those under layers. It's going to make it slightly, and I do mean slightly, more difficult to readjust. It's not too big of a deal, but again, if you can lay it down properly the first time, there will be less adjusting overall. Okay, and I have just enough of a tail to push this through. This is a cording we've used on a past bottle a couple years ago, so right, we're going to tighten that up and pull that behind as well. And I'm going to trim this and pull it behind some more. All right, that looks good, and we definitely built up the edge of this, so then that way, yes, there's still a drop-off here, but this drop-off is considerably less since we were able to build that up. So I actually think, now that I have this wrapped, that I don't want to do the drips. I think it's just going to make it look messy just because of how drastic of a dip this lid is to the actual neck of the bottle. So I think what I actually want to do is just put a little bit of clear hot glue up here and then glue on some of our moss. So it gives us a little bit more of an organic feel at the top. This is completely optional. You definitely don't have to do this, but I just think it's going to add a little something, and then we can add our label to it. I just want to keep this one simple. I want it to look like something that's, again, on an apothecary shelf, ready to purchase for your spells or potions or whatever it may be. All right, there we go. So I'm just going to put a small amount of hot glue up here and then start to lay our moss. And now that I have my moss on the top, we can add our label. Now that we're ready for our label, I'm going to take a matching marker like I always do and go around the outside edge. It just gives it a more finished look. Helps hide any of your cutting imperfections, all those things. I'm going to peel the backing paper off, and we're going to stick our label on. And apparently my camera died in the middle of putting on the label, but that's okay. So now we have our moss label on our ingredient jar, and I love how simple and fun this one is, and I love the texture that we get with the moss on the inside of the jar. And I purposefully made sure that I added some of that texture to the moss tag as well. And there we have it. Our moss potion ingredient jar for luck, money, and protection. This will be a great addition to our potion and prop collection we've made along the way. So if you guys like this video, give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and we will catch you guys later. Thanks so much.